I got something to say. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. PSA, I got something to say. This is a disclosure. The views expressed by the host of I Got Something to Say on social, criminal, and justice do not necessarily reflect those views of our guests. With that said, my personal view on the criminal and justice. This is my social commentary on the criminal and justice system, the state of Minnesota, Minneapolis and St. Paul, and the surrounding areas. You feel me?
In the middle, in the middle, man, in the middle.
We coming to y'all, man. Coming to y'all. This is episode 18. Man.
My main man Eric with the opioid addiction.
And I want to jump right into that Amir Locke situation too. Just talk a little bit about that, how they playing that shit out, which is bullshit. Minnesota's back in the news again,
The saddest thing to me is nobody's charged in that shooting right now. But the worst part about nobody being charged right now is the officer that shot him is at home on paid leave, aka vacation.
And the saddest thing about that situation is taxpayers are paying. He's kicking it at Costco. He's chilling while this man is passed away. And what I had a hard problem understanding is why were they trying to vilify the guy who raised his gun in protection of himself, opposed to the guy who killed himself.
Whoa. Stop. This is where Ron be in the middle come in at. I watched that video over and over again. That gun came from under the cover.
It did.
However, let me use this mic for everybody.
No.
Let me use this mic. This the gun. This the barrel of the gun. This where you hold the gun at. The gun came out from under the cover like this. Down. Away from the police. The police were back here. One police officer was right here, the one that shot him. The gun's coming down in a surrendering type fashion. Like, hold on. Let me get rid of this gun and get this gun out here, show them, and get rid of it because I don't want to die. Let me point it down and away from the police because I don't want to die. He dies anyway. They shoot him anyway.
Yeah, and it goes right back to the prior conversation that we had about Dante Wright and his situation, fear, because the basis of this no-knock warrant, or the basis of what they're doing with that is it's supposed to be a public safety issue, right? But a no-knock warrant allows them to enter into the public and place everybody, even the person they're supposedly coming to get, make them safe, because they're saying that they have the ability to, startle you. So that's the rationale. That's why they utilize them.
The no-knock warrant is not effective at all.
Nothing.
Breonna Taylor.
Nothing.
Breonna Taylor.
I'm saying nothing they do is effective. The problem is when you face the police, and we had this discussion earlier, or days prior, or months prior, or on a regular basis.
That's my phone going on.
They have police. Is when you look at them, the police guard the rich, and they police put a leash around the poor. That's what they're there for. So when you look at them, you try to figure this shit out. Like, the police are good. No, the police are good for certain individuals, but they convince you that they're good for you. They're not good for us. You know what I'm saying? They've never been good for us in our community because we don't need them. We don't need police. Only time we need police in the community when you push shit in our community that makes the economic situation look a little bit different.
Well, Ron B in the middle say we need the police.
The police is like prison is an ideology you've been taught to believe in. Police is an ideology you've been taught to believe in.
I disagree.
How do you disagree?
Because what do you think St. Paul would be like if they didn't have no police.
That you keep falling back on that argument.
What do you think? What do you think it'll be like?
That's not an argument.
What do you think it'll be like?
It's not an argument because you can't tell me like you can eat anything you want. We only got peanut butter and jelly. When you only know the police, that's why I said, first of all, I told you it was an ideology. It's something that you've been taught to believe in, that it works.
Answer my question.
It's going to be bedlam. Of course, you know that. But there's not.
So why do you not need the police if it's going to be bedlam?
Because the police because based on this capitalist system, that's the only option they've given you.
What's another option?
Option is community policing themselves. You had a civil war. You didn't need police then. What was police during the Civil War? Nowhere. Black people was on plantations.
Did you see what was happening during the Civil War?
They was killing each other. White folks was killing white folks.
Yeah.
You didn't need no police force though. You didn't need nobody in these communities guarding the communities.
You needed somebody, obviously, because they was killing each other.
Because they were fighting a civil war. White folks was fighting over slavery. They didn't need police. I'm just saying, white women weren't getting raped when they had a civil war. All I'm trying to say, like, the problem with policing is that, and I reached out to several different organizations. The problem with policing is become over policing, right? Policing from its onset. Now I got a slideshow that I came across. I'm gonna give credit out to, but it breaks down the police and its etymology from start to finish, right up to right now, to why the police, how the police have come into our community, and how the police, they can never be, the roots could never be right with them because they don't be police officers. They never were put in our community police officers. They were put in our community for supervision. Just like you're on parole, supervision. It's all they're not police officers. They've been revamped to protect and serve, which we know they don't do. And only time they make sense is when you look at these white communities where they guard them. They definitely go in there to police, to what they claim that other Bible we never see in our communities. So I got this poem that Lakeland Hughes put together too that just sort of breaks down different things. But my situation, I'm never gonna fall into just because all you have to eat is peanut butter and jelly, I'm gonna eat peanut butter and jelly. No, I'm gonna choose something different. Even if I have to go grow my own self, even if I have to use my own mind, because you've been fed prisons work. We need a prison. What are you gonna do if you let all these people out? Why are you overcharging all these people that could be home with their family? Like you say, you did 10 years. Nobody died. No property damage. How do you justify that? This bitch is doing 24 months. She killed somebody, blew him back, and then acted it out.
You're right.
It doesn't make. It's not fair. It's not fair.
But we need the police to a certain extent.
You need the police. The only way I agree with you in that is that you need a police. The only solution they have for the capitalist system, because there's so many people that have so much fucking money, and if you don't have the police, they won't be protected. They need the police. You don't need the police.
What about? Hypothetically speaking, what about your house get broken into?
What's
the first thing you're gonna do? What's the first thing you're gonna do?
Let's do something.
What's the first thing you're gonna do when your house get broken into?
Let's do something current because it's gonna make sense to you. The little young man or young adult who got killed over in North, football player.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Just recently.
Yeah, they just had his funeral.
Just had his funeral.
This week?
That was senseless violence.
Mm-hmm.
You would say we need the police in that matter, right? Wouldn't that be something that makes sense?
Yeah.
We need the police because this white dude, for no reason other than maybe they saying he bumped shoulders or whatever, some little minor shit, decided he wanted to kill this man. We need police. No, maybe we need to fucking regulate some of these goddamn guns that these motherfuckers got.
They tried that.
They
tried that.
Maybe instead of saying we need police, we need to maybe look at that.
They tried to regulate the gun laws. They not enforce them and
not enforce them. Just to stop producing so many guns and selling so many guns to so many people. So many people have guns. Back in days when I was coming up, a gun was a rarity.
Whoa. In your Bill of Rights, you had a right to bear arms.
Right.
With that being said, how you take that from people?
I'm limit the
how do you take that from people?
Limit the amount of guns being produced.
Huh?
Limit the amount of guns being produced. In turn, limit the amount of guns being.
What's that gonna do?
guns on the
with
streets.
the guns that's out here already. What's that gonna do?
I just in my thought process, you got to start somewhere. Limiting production of them keeps individuals from being able to purchase them, and maybe that cuts down some guns. Then
You got 100 million guns on the street already,
perhaps,
and you stop them
Producing.
from producing any more guns. What's that going to do?
you just said to your
you got 100 million guns out
to
here.
your argument, you have the right to you can't. It's going to be hard to.
In your Bill of Rights, you have the right.
You
to
have the
bear
right to take that away, but you can definitely stop the mass production of guns, because it's so many guns out on the streets, and they're so accessible now that's a problem. And I was getting that is back when I was coming up, a gun was a rarity. Not everybody had guns. 60s, 70s, even the 80s, 90s. Where are these guns coming from? I mean, there's guns in the hood. People have guns, but the level, motherfuckers got guns that shoot 100 rounds. The level has changed. Motherfuckers might have a 32. Might have a 22. Maybe, right, revolver.
And this is all the more reason why you need police.
You don't need police in your community. You've been brought to the ideology that police work for you. If you need police in your community, then in turn, you're gonna police always come with problems. So you gotta take the good with the bad. They're gonna kill a couple of black folks.
When you get into a car accident,
no.
When you get into a car accident, you gotta make a police report in order to get paid from your insurance
Not
company.
necessarily.
Yeah, you do.
But
if you don't make a police report,
they don't have to be involved in the accident. All you do is call them on the phone.
But if you don't make a police report,
that's what the
you
insurance.
cannot get paid.
That's
from
what
the
insurance put in a clause. That's
right.
not. It's an ideology.
I'm just showing you another reason why you need the police
in your community. I need a police when an accident occurs in my community.
to make an insurance.
I don't
claim
need them
on
to
your
supervise.
house. If somebody breaking your house, you need the police report.
Again, it's an insurance claim. You keep using insurance claims.
Yeah,
somebody else is bringing the police into my life, not me. In order for me to something I bought that should cover my house, now I have to call the police in order for them to believe that it actually occurred.
If somebody throw a rock through that window right now,
I get it.
If somebody throw a rock through that window right now, what you gonna do?
You gotta.
What you gonna do?
I'm telling you, you don't need the police. Period. You've been brought to the understanding that the police work. There's other ways for you to make insurance claim without you utilizing police, but the insurance company made it a clause in a contract that you signed.
That's right.
You didn't. They did.
Right.
So they're telling me I need the police in order to file my insurance claim. Fuck it, I ain't gonna get insurance. I don't know. Like I said, I'm telling you don't need the police because in your mind, if you do need the police, it's just like Clint Kempowder made a mistake.
You need police to keep order.
I guess.
Without the police, it would be no order. It would be bedlam, like you
Without the police, it would be no order. It would be bedlam, like you
said.
Yeah, it would be definitely because you're running a capitalist system, and if there was no police, it's gonna be riots. People gonna be running in places where they had no money to get furniture, to get stuff that they never had, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's a capitalist system. Because prior to that, they had to pay for it. Okay, they needed police. But
look what happened when George Floyd got killed. Look what happened when George Floyd got killed.
At a certain time, when there is a community is going to have to be formed. Even after all this capitalist bullshit, materialist shit is taken and people have it, at a certain particular point, people are going to have to form a cooperative understanding.
Now, I agree that we need our communities to stand up and bond together and police our own communities along with the police, though.
No, they don't.
Along with the police.
So, like I said, when it comes to police and what they do and how they've been done, you've been fed the ideology. Like you've been paid that, like prisons are necessary, right? You've been fed that narrative too. That prisons are necessary
to a certain extent.
But it's not. Because it's not. Because nothing they've told you about prisons.
So you don't think somebody deserved to go to prison that raped the little kid?
Prison.
So you saying you don't think somebody need to go to prison?
Prisons, for the reason they utilize prison, it doesn't, like the reason they mass incarcerate anybody. For a person who decides they're going to rape a kid or whatever they decide to do, whatever crime you feel like is enough for a person to go to. Some people say murder is a reason why. Some people might say jaywalking is a reason why. But we decide murder is a reason why an individual should go to prison. Mm-hmm. Okay. Murder should be a reason why they incapacitate an individual because he's taking someone else's life. Or you can kill a person for taking somebody's life. That might be what the people decide. That's fine. The problem with that scenario is that in that case, because this person might be a menace, maybe prison does what it does. He's a psychopath. He kills people for no reason. Or whatever. I'm not going to argue with you about that. It might make sense.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
It might make sense in rare cases where you need to incapacitate the individual.
John Wayne Gacy.
To incapacitate the individual. But how do you get from a guy who has 2 ounces of coke, give him life in prison? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
So that's what what they utilize for you is they stress the ideology that prisons are necessary for John Wayne Gacy. I'm not gonna argue with you. He probably needs to be capacitated because the dude has lost his rabbit ass mind. Maybe you need to kill him.
Charles Manson.
Maybe you need to kill him. But what they do, as soon as we go with the Fox, as soon as you say, yeah, I want to use prison for that, what they do, they say we also about to incarcerate this dude who never hurt anybody other than selling some dope to his community, made a mistake. We're going to give him life too. You said prison was okay. We're going to do it. It's because you got to understand. This was a setup. Again, this was something that they contrived.
Hold on.
Let me finish my point because it's important because it's going to play right into your point. Mm-hmm. Prior to the 70s, they had no DEA. They contrived that. They came up with it. Prior to that, if you committed a drug offense, the FDA was involved, and there was another organization involved, but it wasn't no DEA. It was no drug enforcement agency. And then they took that because right now those are administrations. Mm-hmm. There was no drug court involved. You didn't go to court for that shit.
So it wasn't no ATF. And
none of that shit.
FBI,
what they did is they started to criminalize it. They put it in our community and they arrested us because they came up. It was like, we're going to come with the DEA. Now we got drug enforcement from the feds that's going to start arresting these motherfuckers because we about to put drugs in their community. And we know. Because prior to that, it was FDA. It was another organization in the feds. There was no criminal conviction. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, under it was Lyndon B. Johnson, his administration, he came out with that law enforcement and the ones that gave the police officers all that military and shit. He came out. That was his administration, and his administration came out with the DEA because they already had a plan in store for us. They already knew what they were about to do to us. They already knew they was about to shit that shit to our community, and they knew it was going to be a flood of individuals going.
I was telling a young lady.
It's a setup.
I was telling a young lady at work the other day. I said these drugs that being sold in our communities and stuff like that, in the urban communities and on the streets, anywhere, that we're being ostracized and sent to prison for and all this, that, we don't have the power or the money to go to these other countries where these drugs are produced and get them into this country. These drugs are here already, and we selling them. So who do you think is putting them here? How do you think they got here?
Who's benefiting from it? Not us. We not benefiting. Look at Lil Fox say. 9 times out of 10.
Look at what Kanye West said.
No, I'm saying no.
He said you go buy a pair of Jordans. He said you go buy a pair of Jordans. Or he said drug dealer go buy a pair of Jordans. Dope dealer do something, and the white man get paid off for all of that.
Right, that's true. But I was gonna say, look at Fox's situation where he was saying when he's selling dope, he wasn't making no money. He was taking something and flipping it. So he go get an ounce from me and sell it to the next man, mark it up $100. Is he a motherfucking kingpin? Is he a kingpin? But just like he said too, the feds got so petty now. Before the Fed wouldn't even come see you for an ounce.
Right.
They wouldn't come see you for no motherfucking ounce.
Everybody that was in the feds was in there for some real shit and they could get some real money. Now you got people with possession of a firearm, possession of half an ounce of crack cocaine.
Doing life.
What's the consequence of somebody getting caught with 10 kilos of cocaine? What consequence should they have?
Prior to that, there was no consequence. No. There was no consequence.
Tell me right now what consequence
should be no consequence.
Why?
He committed no crime.
Why?
10 kilos of cocaine?
Do you know how many communities he's tearing up?
10 kilos?
Do you know how many
10 kilos? What you think?
Do you know how many communities he's tearing up?
Let me ask you a question then. What the fuck you think 10 kilos of cocaine gonna do? That ain't even a lot of coke. That's not nationwide coke. That's not community-wide coke.
You know
that
how
might be block-wide coke.
Wait.
Where the kilotons?
Wait.
Where the 50?
Wait. Let me explain to you. Let me break it down to you. I got 10 kilos of cocaine. I'm gonna sell you a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick. I'm gonna sell him a brick, and I'm gonna sell him a brick.
Yeah.
Right? A brick being 1 kilo, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you gonna do with that brick?
I'm gonna sell that motherfucker.
Where at?
Wherever.
Wherever, right?
Wherever.
Mostly in the urban community, right?
Perhaps. I'm selling to the white folks too.
Okay.
Equal opportunity.
Okay. But what's gonna happen?
It's
The
going to
crime rate gonna go up.
It doesn't matter. That's not a criminal offense. They sell dope in the communities every day. Go to fucking Walgreens. Go to fucking CVS. Why is that legal? They sell it everywhere.
You're right. However,
How is that legal?
Hold. The shit that they selling at Walgreens ain't tearing up communities.
Motherfuckers addicted to Vicodins and Percocets, and they sell codeine, the drink there too. They sell everything at Walgreens.
No, they don't. They do not sell.
They do sell drink. My daughter worked there.
Yeah.
They sell codeine. That's come from.
Oh, the syrup.
Yeah, sir. That's codeine. They sell it. That's medicine. Man, come on, man. Like I said, it's just that they the biggest drug dealers. Pharmaceuticals are the biggest drug. Right now, they done wiped out drug. You can't go buy you a Coke right now and think you're gonna make some money. Motherfucker go into his motherfucking grandma medicine cabinet. They don't even call that shit no more. In medicine cabinet, he gonna get higher than the motherfucker.
What's making the crime rate go up more? Crack cocaine
crack cocaine?
the shit that they selling in Walgreens?
Come on.
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
I would say
tell me the truth.
I would say looking at the crime rate in general, where it comes to
What they robbing and stealing and killing for right
this
now?
crack cocaine is not an issue anymore. It's like meth and it's like heroin.
No, but when it was the issue, what was the issue?
That wasn't the issue.
It was a violent drug.
It was supposedly a violent drug.
Supposedly?
Yeah.
How many people you seen get killed coming up?
Yeah,
You grew up in the 80s, just like I did.
You can't say it was the pushing of crack cocaine into our neighborhoods that caused that, and it was done purposely.
It was.
We decided to sell it.
But we decided to grab hold of
The
it.
fact of the matter is, I'm older than you are by a little bit, and I've seen how the factories in our communities were removed. So a lot of that crack cocaine selling came as a switch. Like a lot of individuals who were working decided to sell dope to feed their families, and it became this.
What about the ones that took it okay, you're right. And I was going to make that point a few minutes ago. You got people that sell drugs because they have to sell drugs.
Right. That's how it started off.
But then the greed kicks in.
But that comes with anything. It's America, right? But I mean, it's not right. It's not wrong. I'm not preaching. What we started off talking about is whether prisons and police are necessary. But if every time you go to it, I just step back and say police are there for the rich, to guard them, to protect them, protect their homes, their houses, their situations. If I lived in a gated community, whole different perception of police until you get a whack little motherfucker like George Zimmerman in there who's going to police whatever. But more than 9 times out of 10, when you live with peers, when I lived in my $1 million houses,
Trayvon Martin.
when I lived in my $1 million houses, when my community, other than my community not liking me, when I was in my house one night. I had $1 million. I was in my crib. I had music playing out real loud, and I had music on the outside of my house. And I'm in Woodbury. White folks playing rap music late at night, 2:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
The police came knocking at my door. I'm in Woodbury in a multi-million-dollar house. Police come knocking at my door. 3 of them. Guy turned down the music. What? For what? Fuck wrong with you? What y'all need to do is get the fuck off my motherfucking property. That's what I told him. You see what I'm saying? Just like that, nothing. Because the police actually, it wasn't North Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. They engaged me differently, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a whole different conversation between me and the police officer. Mm-hmm. They were well trained. They knew that they were on somebody else's. You know, they understood.
They knew
who
they were on
dealing with.
private property.
They understood who they was dealing with. And if I did have if it was a noise issue in Woodbury, I had the only house for 2 acres. I had a couple of neighbors around me, but whatever.
It wasn't nobody close enough to hear that music.
There was the people. They probably could, but it wasn't loud enough to. There was just people calling a noise complaint, but it wasn't like it was outside speakers, so they had no bass in them, nothing that make people. And if they heard them, they heard very because faint music.
Yeah.
It was something that if they had their windows open, it was bothering them because they could hear it. But it wasn't like my car stereo had.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Boom.
It wasn't like it was waking them up.
Yeah,
like
so I told
sleeping
the
like that.
motherfuckers to get the if you don't get the fuck off my fucking property. Dumbass shit. Back in Woodbury.
So what happened?
Nothing. They left. What I'm getting at is a priest. So if I was a Negro, see, but prior to that, that was prior to my criminal conviction. You know what I'm saying? And then going through and I hadn't been through the system. So not having been through the system and dealing with that and that's how I addressed them. Now I've been through the system, now I'm out of the system. Now I understand now. That only reason I was able to do that is because where I lived at. That's what I mean by police guard the rich, right? And then they police the poor. Now I do the same shit over in North Minneapolis. They're gonna try to beat the shit out of me, right?
They're gonna push your door in and
they're gonna figure a way, or they gonna even if they don't give me the night, they gonna run I get pulled over.
Now when you put it to me that way, they guard the rich and police the poor. I get it. I get what you're saying. You're right, but they're still necessary.
That's an ideology been fed to you. I don't have time to get into ideology and why. See, it's entrenched in an understanding. Like somebody tell you a truth and you believe it, it becomes true. If I tell you that police are the reason, well, because we was told back in the 90s, if we don't get all these police on the ground, then these super criminals,
they're necessary.
Super predators are going to take over the nation.
Listen, they're necessary until, and we can close with this if you want to, but they're necessary until we are able to come together as a community and police our communities. Until then, we need them. I wouldn't say we need them. I would say they'll be necessary, just because the economic system has been chosen, and I'm not going to argue with that. That's why when I say all police officers are bad, I don't say I dislike them or anything like that. I just understand what they do. And that's why I say what I say about them. It's not to say that I know every police officer and every police officer is bad. That'd be ignorant of me. But I'm just saying that based on what we just came to understanding, based on the world that we live in, based on the jobs they must possess as police officers, because the reason they're here are not because we don't need them. We need them in our communities because the inequity is so perverse between our communities. Is that people are doing things like selling dope, robbing motherfuckers. They're doing shit like that because they doing shit, stupid shit, buying stupid shit, doing stupid shit, and yeah. But then I could go one step further and say the reason police officers are necessary is not because of us, it's because of them, not because of us. Because left with our own understanding of shit, we'll be able to, getting back to a community. You know what I'm saying? Us being a community. You didn't take so many of our black males and lock them up in prison. We could be more so of a community. Do you remember back in the day, like the police, I remember growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and all the police officers had baseball cards in the trunk of their car. They patrolled the neighborhoods. All the little kids would always run up to the police cars and ask them for some baseball cards, and they would hand them out in the communities. But with that being said, the police patrol the communities, and they got to know the people in the community. They stopped in the communities. I knew that this was Officer Brown or Officer Porter or Officer whoever, whatever their last name was. I knew these officers in my community. But now you don't know the officers in your community because all they do is drive through. They sit in the AC. They sit in the AC or they sit in the heat.
It's an issue.
They only come when it's an issue.
And then because they're so detached from the community, they can only use that they're, and the go back to the Potter situation, and I'll close on this, is that right now with everything they are being trained in certain situations. Now they got this thing. You ask me why is violence going up? They have, if you watch 37 Shots, they talk about the blue flu. Now when Justin Terrell was here, he dispelled that. He said no, violence is going up. They also got this thing now since the whole Kim Potter situation, because they have this issue with police officers, right? Police officer can't second guess himself. So if he believes there's a gun, shoot. That's what they've been trained. Mm-hmm. So it's not make sure it's a gun, make sure it's a real gun. Mm-hmm. It's like if you think that motherfucker's got a gun, shoot until he ain't moving no more. Mm-hmm. You get away. Mm-hmm. Okay? With that being so now what they're doing is talking about, because of Kim Potter's situation and all the Derek Chauvin, all the other bullshit offenders situations, is that it's a hesitation issue now. Police officers have a hesitation. They're hesitating, which can cost them their lives. Mm-hmm. And then if you watch the new TikTok, Instagram, shout out to Instagram, people who follow us on those, I show that sign. That's not photoshopped. That's something. It says, all good cops are dead cops. Police officers standing in front of it. All good cops, that's what they believe. Mm-hmm. How you say there's some good? Didn't you say there's some good cops? Mm-hmm. All good cops are dead cops. That's the sign they sit in.
Because of the blue wall.
That's what the sign that they sitting in front of. Mm-hmm. I didn't put that in front of them. I know y'all think I photoshopped you. SAF Moe, the prison lawyer. I'm good, but I didn't do that. Look at that video.
I guarantee you, ain't nobody going to jail for Amir Locke. Murder.
Yeah, forget that.
Murder. We don't call it that. Murder. It wasn't an accident. He had a gun. He had legitimate rights to have that gun.
Right.
They came in that man's house
and killed him.
Murdered him.
Murked him. That's the same shit they be saying in those rap videos. Come on, man. Fuck out of here, man. We need to change this community.
He was legit. He had a conceal and carry permit. That gun was registered.
Conceal.
You come in his house with a no-knock warrant. What do you think he's going to do?
Fuck back.
What do you think
he's going to do? He ain't even trying to blow y'all back. He just trying to motherfucking let y'all know he got
came out with the gun down.
Yeah, he came with the piece. Y'all gonna blow him back.
I wanted to bet money. I bet my last dollar. I bet my life on it. That if they'd have waited a couple seconds, that gun would have dropped to the floor without going off. They put him in handcuffs.
They've been trained as police officers to de-escalate situations. That's part of their training. Mm-hmm. They've been trained when you come in there, if somebody has a pistol, certain commands you give them. Mm-hmm. But they also know, too, if you wake a motherfucker up out of his sleep, he's going to be disheveled. Mm-hmm. He's sleeping. I'm waiting for you.
Ban the no-knock warrant 100% completely.
Be the fucking police and do something better. Get something better. And you Negroes, stop selling out to them. With that said,
like, follow, share, subscribe.
We are.
Support the real. The voice of the voices.
We are.
The voice of the voices.
We are.
The voice of the voices.
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
I got something to say.
got something to say.
Yeah, you're taking right now. Look at your camera. That's you right there. This your.
If we talking, it's kicking it, but when you want to say something personal, you want to point out something or whatever, that's you. If you want to put emphasis right there, yeah. If you want to put emphasis on what you're saying, look in the middle. Alright, cool. Awesome. Alright. You ready? Ready?
We're back. And I told you I was coming back. I knew Ron B was coming back, but we have a special guest coming back.
Amen.
And he's going to tell you a little bit about himself. And he piqued my interest, so I'm sure he's going to pique yours. You want to tell him who you are?
Yeah, I'm Eric. Born and raised St. Paul, Minnesota. Opiate addict, recovering opiate addict. I don't like to name myself as an actual opiate addict anymore. I used to be an opiate addict, but times have changed from back then. Started using drugs when I was 15, opiates. It was like most people that you talk to, they start drinking and stuff at a really young age and whatnot, but when I was younger, I started dating this girl. She was her parents were multi-millionaires, and she was prescribed Vicodin. So I went from 0 to 100 real quick.
No. I don't keep your thought. Social understanding. But was it one day you guys were hanging around the house and spot these Vicodin?
Basically, yeah.
That's basically how it started off.
Yeah, man.
It
was crazy.
Was it alcohol?
It was alcohol for maybe like 6 months, and then.
What age are you again?
15.
At 15, so you guys are hanging out at her house, or your house, or friend's house.
Yeah, I think we were at a park or something.
And you guys were like, "Fuck it, let's get drunk."
Yeah, drunk.
Where are you living
pills
now?
come from?
The pills. She had the pills. She was prescribed Vicodin.
Where you living at though? Where are you?
I'm at home.
Where? I mean,
Parents'
what town?
St. Paul.
This St. Paul, the city St. Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives in St. Paul also, I'm assuming.
She lived in Inver Grove Heights.
Okay.
She went to I won't get into that.
No. I'm trying to figure out where you guys at, where you're drinking and taking Vicodin at, and there's no parental supervision.
I wouldn't. No parental supervision.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, are you guys are just, let's go to the park today to hang out?
Yeah, for sure.
And
we used to hang out at this park up off of Montreal and Hamlin we called it Big Slide or the Valley. And it was like a Highland Park frisbee golf course and stuff, and that's where all the kids used to gather and whatnot. So that's where we were. We spent most of our time up there. Yeah.
Okay. And so no weed.
Well, weed obviously was in the mix. Weed's always in the mix.
So with my mind, I'm just trying to try to understand, like, at what point you guys had to heard something or heard other kids talking to make you want to do Vicodin.
I think it was my brother's 2 years older than me. And I always hung around the group of kids that he hung around, older kids and stuff. So I kind of took on to what they were taking on to at a younger age than most kids my age too, you know. So
he was following.
Yeah, because like when I was in junior high, like 13, 14, he had like a friend who had their own apartment. So after like high school, after school and stuff during the week, we would go over there, and I remember he lived on the bottom floor. He didn't have a cell phone or anything, so we would knock on the window to his apartment, and he would peek out the blinds and see who it was and run up and get them and have them come in and stuff. So
that's right.
I just surrounded myself with it at a very, very young age, you know.
And so I can see the romanticism with drugs.
Yeah,
because it's like what the older kids are doing.
That's what they're doing.
So
I want to fit in.
I want to fit in. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
So it's cool. What the cool people are doing.
Peer pressure.
Yeah,
Peer pressure.
I'm not a square. Yeah, I'm not a square.
Dare didn't really worked for me, I guess, when I was younger, you know?
So at 15, you and your girl, did she become an addict also?
No, she kind of got her stuff together. I mean, she went to a really well-renowned school called Visitation.
Never heard of it before.
It's, you know, St. Thomas
Yeah,
Academy.
yeah.
It's the sister school of St. Thomas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, she got out of it eventually. And so did I, because when we broke up, I didn't have that connect anymore. So I was kind of forced to get out of it. So come like 18 or so probably, I kind of strayed away from it for the most part.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing at 18?
Just drinking and smoking.
Just drinking and smoking.
For the most part. If I could find... weed.
Yeah.
If I could find it, maybe a little bit of blow or...
Yeah.
You know,
Whoa. What do you mean by blow? What's blow?
Cocaine? white
White
smell,
girl.
whatever,
White girl.
Whatever you want to call
White girl.
it. I kind of dabble in everything. It's called candy flipping.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have, like a lot of people have a jug of choice.
Yeah. Mine would definitely be downers, opiates.
Okay.
But I would do anything if it presents itself to me.
Okay, so we gonna fast forward to
Let's fast forward to like now, cause like
now
you called me recently, cause we worked together, and you called me and you said, Ron, I need you to take me to this drug treatment facility.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's going on with you now that you needed to go to the drug treatment facility?
So I can kind of explain. Now it's actually been like 2.5 years is when the now started actually. So about 2.5, 3 years ago, I had gotten out of a really bad relationship. We were living together, had a house out in Egan and stuff together. And we broke up, and she kind of made me a deal that if I was to sober up, she would make things work out between the two of us. So, and this was during the pandemic, like right in the middle of the pandemic. So I was drinking like a bottle of whiskey and a 12 to 24 pack a day.
Okay.
So I was pretty bad, and things just got really bad between us. And I ended up sobering up for about a week. And then I had a friend that lived in my apartment up on the 16th floor or something. It's kind of irrelevant. But he had surgery, and he ended up with a prescription of 100 Dilaudid. If you know what Dilaudid are?
Dilaudid opioids.
So is that Dilaudid's higher than Vicodin?
Very, very high.
And higher than...
It's like kind of what they give, like, I would say it's close to what they give, like, cancer patients and people in, like, extreme pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it pill form?
It's pill form.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 milligrams. They're, like, white.
Yeah.
And so he sold me his...
How much are those worth on the market?
Oh, man.
Like
four
one
milligrams.
Pill. For one pill.
One pill is probably, like, $15 or so.
See what I'm saying?
But they're hard. I don't know a lot of people who have them.
Yeah, they're very hard to get.
Yeah,
that's why. So he
right. That's why they're so high on the market.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so he gave me those. So like I said, I tried to sober up, but he gave me those, and the pain from getting out of this relationship that I was in for quite a long time was so bad that I picked these Dilaudid up, and I just off to the races.
How many of those come in a prescription box?
He had a prescription of 100 of them.
So he gets 100 pills
And he probably took...
per prescription.
Yeah, he probably took like 10 of them. So I had 90 altogether because he wasn't using them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is I thought that like you were working toward fixing the relationship.
We were.
And then, so when did the Dilaudid come? Did she leave you, or you couldn't fix the relationship? Or?
It was just, it was too much pressure to like try to like change for a person, you know? Like, I was just kind of in my own head and stuff. And
So you decided I'm not gonna.
yeah, it's just, I kind of got the fuck it's, if you know what the fuck it's are.
Yeah. But the thing about it is
that's
that
what we all get.
You must have felt like she wasn't, like some people would have took the ultimatum and changed their life. They'd be talking to us now saying, hey, that was the point in my life I decided to change.
Right.
You know, we got married, we have kids, I'm happy. You just said it's like, fuck it. Fuck you, fuck that. So my question to you would be, how do you feel about drug addiction? Do you feel like, some people have when it comes to philosophy, some people believe that drugs should be legal.
I think some drugs should be legal.
Like what?
Like marijuana, obviously, that's a plant. Like mushrooms, yeah, you know, like a psychedelic, because if you have a good trip on psychedelics and stuff, it can really change your life.
Alcohol should be illegal.
I do too, because like
you hear alcohol should be.
Then what about cigarettes?
Cigarettes? I mean,
what about cigarettes? It's a drug. It's a drug. It's nicotine.
It doesn't cause any harm. Like, it doesn't impair you driving. It doesn't impair you in decisions you make and stuff like that.
So is that the
cigarettes actually?
So is that the qualification for a drug? It has to impair you.
It should be. It should be, cause cigarettes, like when I get into an argument with my significant other, or I get into an argument with my brother, or you or anybody else, I go smoke a cigarette and it calms me down. It's a relaxer. You know, cigarettes should never fall into that category. And if a drug or alcohol doesn't fall into that category where it relaxes you if you use it, then it should be banned.
What you got?
You know, have you ever noticed though, when you smoke a cigarette, it calms you down, but it actually it will make you more stressed and anxious after like that initial like cigarette smoking is like done. And also cigarettes are more difficult to get out than I think is either the number 1 or number 2.
So he's really now what he's doing is he's really fine tuning.
The cigarette is the breather. It's the you know how, like, okay, I took anger management classes before, and they tell you to think and count to 10 and stuff like that. That's what the cigarette does for you.
Yeah, but
the cigarette does that for you.
So this is all opinion based. This is not statistical.
Oh, this is real. This is not my opinion. This is what happened to me for real.
This is your opinion about what drugs should be legal, what drugs should not be legal. Not what cigarettes do to you. Just what, because I would feel like shit. Make cigarettes legal. Make them legal.
They legal already.
I mean, sorry, illegal. My bad. Illegal.
I remember, didn't they try to put a ban on cigarettes or something? And it lasted for it didn't last very long. But that was a long time ago.
I would just say if you get into a slippery slope. That's why I tend to believe that people have the right to choose. They should be able to choose to be on drugs or off drugs.
That's what we do. We have that.
No, but they make them illegal. So he doesn't have a right to choose because they're telling him opioids are illegal. Or this.
If you don't have a prescription.
If you have, but they don't want to get you. But based on his situation, and I'm gonna let him go back to telling the story. I'm gonna start back to what actually he was going through, like his bad trips and stuff like that. But I'm telling you that the reason that medication is what started individuals on these drugs. Their addiction to medication. That's how it starts.
That's exactly
people going into their grandparents' medicine cabinets. They still call them that, and taking the drugs and utilizing them.
Do you understand what would happen if Congress or the powers that be decided right now we're going to make alcohol illegal?
It'd be just like it was when they did make it illegal. People were making money off of it.
How many businesses you think will fail? How many jobs you think will be lost?
But that it's like what Vern was talking about. It's not the fact that the jobs or businesses, it's the fact it creates a criminal enterprise. Automatically. Right off the bat.
Exactly.
So that's what they're scared of. At least right now they can get their tax money off of it. And stuff like that.
Yeah. But that's why they're trying to legalize marijuana right now, so they can get the tax money off of it and kill the criminal enterprise.
They have a whole can of worms of marijuana, just money wise. But
that's kind of how it is too, though, because like even for opiates, you got like the Suboxone treatment and the methadone, and those are that's all tax money and way for the government to make money too. And that stuff's just as hard to get off as like the actual opiates.
So why is it a transitory drug? I mean, I'm using the wrong term, but
I think they use it because you can actually, it's easier to taper off of it than the actual opiates are, because you
Okay.
can do like taper programs and stuff and go down slowly to the point where you're not gonna like feel it anymore. But when you use like an actual opiate, you just immediately want more because
But let me ask you a question.
You talking about the methadone?
No,
pills and
let
stuff
me
like
ask
that.
you a question. Aren't you still an addict regardless? Like once you get addicted to it, even if you step down
absolutely.
you come to a party, you're doing heroin or whatever, you know you're gonna still feel as though you're gonna have you're gonna want to do it. Or
Oh yeah, you always have those cravings and stuff.
How do
They
you
never go away?
How do you tell the people how do you
Deal with it.
yeah?
How do I cope with the
How do you deal
triggers
with that?
and with the like cravings and stuff? Me personally, I just try to be really mindful of them. I try to just take some deep breaths and take like if I need to take like 10 minutes out of my day to just meditate or do something mentally to like distract me from.
Does it bother you when you're working? Like, 'cause we work at a bar. We work at a bar, and it's pretty up paced. So, the nights we work and stuff like that. Does it like? Do you want it?
No,
Like while you're working?
not when I'm working. I actually love working because it takes my mind off of that. I'm too busy thinking about other things. I find that that's why they always say when you get out of a treatment center and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they tell you to
Stay busy.
Yeah, like structure throughout your day and stuff. Because
Mhm.
when you're staying busy, your mind doesn't have time to wander to other places.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But did something traumatic happen to you in your childhood to make you more susceptible to this abuse?
How did you grow up? Just tell us how you grew up.
I grew up in a pretty good family, a really good family actually, until it wasn't really, it was probably traumatic thinking back on it now, but like I never really thought of it as traumatic. But so when my mom and dad got divorced when I was in like 6th grade or something,
Mm-hmm.
I like found out that I had like a half sister and stuff on my dad's side and whatnot.
Okay.
So like that, even just something little, and sorry mom and dad if you're listening, but yeah,
They're still together?
they're not together anymore because things just didn't work out.
Okay. So I thought
My
maybe-
dad was an alcoholic. He was a pretty functioning alcoholic, but
So now it's genetic.
it is it's
now
very
it's genetic. Now,
Even on my mom's side,
now
not.
yeah.
Have you talked to your parents about this? Like expressing them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're my rocks in my recovery right now.
Was that through treatment then? Did they come to treatment and because I know a lot of times through treatment, the final program or during the
like the Al-Anon side of
a
things?
lot of people that you harmed or hurt
Mhm.
come in and you
Yeah,
have-
they got the
making
12 steps
amends
and all that
thing,
stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
Was that part of you talking to them about it, or was it just open in the family?
It's just opening. It's
They
being
knew
really
that-
open with them. Yeah, like my dad a few months ago even said, you don't realize how serious this addiction is with opiates until it hits close to home.
Right. That's
Mhm.
everything.
So it's like-
that goes with everything. I mean, that's
Yeah.
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 That's just the
You're right.
truth. It's like criminal justice, death.
Mm-hmm.
It just everything you seem to be isolated from it until it occurs to you. Now I know I dealt with crack cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, whether I was selling it or somebody addicted to it, because that it transferred through the black community and everybody you knew
Right.
either was on it, selling it,
Mm-hmm.
addicted to. You know what I'm saying? It's just so.
My
it was-
mom started out selling it and then went to prison for selling it
Yeah.
and then came out,
And started
ended up
using it.
on it.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
Now, what I wanted to say is that so through that, I know how the crack epidemic can affect the household. It rips it apart.
Mm-hmm.
It just because whether it's
From
stealing
every
shit,
side, it
whether
rips
it's
it
stealing
apart.
shit, whether it's just family members not being there, whether it's just the so. Is the opioid dick? Are you stealing shit? Are you taking people's shit? Are
Or man, I probably drained my mom alone in the past year out of $10,000. Just like
This past year?
manipulating her to like that I need it for something else. And she can see her. I'm lying right through my teeth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
But it's no love like a mother's love.
Yeah,
She's gonna leave you on every avenue.
Now, is she enabling you?
In
Do
a
you
way,
feel like
yeah.
do you? Because I mean, let's just cut to the core of things. Because I know she loves you, and I know you feel bad about, because it's probably the last place you want to go to try to maneuver and try to get money from somebody because you know she needs it. You know, so this is not so. And I was saying the reason I say it because I know how the crap epidemic, endemic, whatever you want to call it, it's affected my household, affected my community, affected us, and how they treated us, how they criminalized it. And we talked a little bit the night we were at Billy's about how this takes on a whole different area of solutions, right? They're not trying to criminalize it as much.
Opiates?
Opiates.
Yeah. I think they're not really trying to criminalize anything though. Because nowadays, which is really cool, like if you get in trouble for drug addiction, be it crack, heroin, meth, whatever it is, the courts always want to give you a shot at treatment because they realize that a lot of the stuff is based around like addiction, and so they want you to try to get help, and if help doesn't work, then they're gonna send you off to jail. But
is this specific to Minnesota or is it nationwide?
It's specific to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Well, just tell me.
But Minnesota
has a lot of
huge.
drug treatment.
Yeah, they're one of the
like
hugest places. Unless you want to go to like Malibu down in where is that, California or whatever. But those places are like gone on vacation. You know, you got like a beach right outside the treatment stuff.
My question is this: you said that like over the past year that you manipulated your mom out of over $10,000.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to that too.
And I want to know like what type of things you did to manipulate her, and how'd you go about doing it?
Just fucking, I don't know.
Lying,
of
course.
Lying, yeah.
Lying.
Just I need it for other
Give
things.
us one scenario where you manipulate your mom out of some money. Just relate a story. Right?
I threaten her a lot. I can't even think of a specific one. It got really easy over time that I didn't even think of it as manipulating. Like even just as much as like, look, like if I don't have this money for so and so, like
they're gonna come to my house and kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Or like I gotta pay these people back. They know where you live.
Elaborate on that.
I see. He just said it. He said,
like they know where you live. Like they're gonna come up to your house.
Yeah, see, I'm saying he's real bad. Yeah. Are you gonna kill yourself? I'm gonna kill myself. Any other scenario?
No, I've never done that.
I'm just saying because I know it can get to the point where she's like,
for sure.
Yeah, you know, like I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill somebody. You know. What about is she protecting you because she's scared you might do something criminal? Like I'm gonna go rob this place.
I think so, kind of, maybe. I think it's more so like she's just the unconditional mother love to you.
Have you seen the movie Jungle Fever?
No.
Well, in Jungle Fever, you got this guy named Gator, and he's a drug addict, and Gator tells his mom, he's like, Mom, I need money for this, I need money for that. Gator is played by Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
And he's a drug addict. And he tells his mom, he said, I need some money, I need some money. The dad is fully aware of Gator's addictive personality. But the mom has the love for the child. And Gator tells his mom, he says, Mom, if you don't give me the money I need, I'm going to go out here and do this, I'm going to go out here and do that, I'm going to go out here and do that. And then he goes on to tell his mom, he says, I do it because I'm a crack head.
Huh.
But it's real though.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real.
It's like a real scenario.
I can really relate with that movie when he says that. It's a movie. It's Hollywood, but it's real. This shit happens for real in real life. Did you go through anything like that?
Not really. More so towards the end, it was like, especially with my mom, a lot of times I would be like, look, like, I just need to wait until I get paid, then I can afford it myself, because she already knew. She was well aware that I was addicted to the opiates and stuff. So towards the end, like, when I was working and stuff, I'd be like, look, I just need to, like, so that I can, like, function at work and I'm not withdrawing and super dope sick. I need money to get my fix. so that I can end up going to work and I'm not jobless and stuff. I use that on her so many times. It's not even funny.
Is your dad? What about your dad? You never?
I've lived with my dad, and it's weird because I feel like he knew, but he never opened his mouth.
Told your mom not to give him money or say anything to you in regards to it.
My dad?
Yeah.
He never would say anything to me in regards to it.
How do you feel about that? I mean,
like reaching out to me and telling me
that. If you were my son, I would be like, listen, son, your ass is gonna have to get clean. You got to get the fuck up out of here.
Well, so yeah, that's kind of what brought me to treatment too.
Was that?
So prior to going to treatment, sadly, I have all these sentimental things. I had like a really nice camera, like a Nikon.
Oh, that's nice.
Nikon camera. I used to love photography. Yeah. I had a specialized road bike. I had a nice MacBook.
Yeah, Pro. Yeah, I got a Pro. Yeah,
I had like an $1,100 Martin guitar. Oh. Everything I said I would never pawn for drugs. Yeah, I pawned. Oh my god! Then I still, when you pawn stuff, they give you
30 days.
30 days, like 30 or 60 days to get it out of the pawn shop. And for an early Christmas present, my dad gave me the money. I think like $350 it was going to cost to get my guitar out of the pawn shop. And I took that money and, well, obviously, being addicted to drugs, didn't get my guitar out of the pawn shop. I just bought more drugs with it. But on top of that, what did I do? So he owns a parking lot downtown, and he like parks cars for events at the XL Energy Center.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
And he keeps an envelope full of money on our kitchen table. And I took probably like over a period of a week or two, probably like an extra $300 out of that envelope. And I've never seen the guy so pissed in my life. He came in the middle of the night when I was sleeping and like tore like my like covers off my bed and was just screaming at the top of his lungs and like threw all my shit out into the hallway and like made me leave the apartment. And soon after that is when I ended up checking myself in the treatment.
Was that recently when you called me?
Yeah, that was in November, yeah.
So that was when you called me and asked me
it was to take me like a week before that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My deal is like, what were you? So I know when you got the money, you were happy. Hey, I'm gonna get my guitar out. And then what made you decide? Was it just the craving?
The cravings and being sick from heroin is the worst feeling ever. So if I didn't have any other money, so I was gonna spend that money. I drained everything, like thousands and thousands of dollars out of my bank and stuff, and it's just crazy, man.
That's just. I'm trying to like. What would you compare the craving to? Like, what in your mind? I mean, because I don't know what is it equivalent to? Is it like I know I crave? Say right now I crave McDonald's. Yeah. It's not even. Is it that level or is it like?
Oh, it's higher than that.
Okay, well, what do you?
How could I explain this?
I see. I want to have sex with this girl right now.
I was just gonna say
sex.
If you haven't had sex in a while, and just it's like craving sexual like tension. You're like, yeah, if you have sexual tensions, it's fucking like it's like that.
Yeah.
But I would say like it's like that times maybe like 10. Like there's been times I was craving so bad that like. Not even my fingernail, like, you can kind of see it's like kind of scarred over right there too. I would bite that part of my thumb and like, I would bite it damn near down to the bone. The cravings were so bad.
Were you bleeding?
Wow. Yeah, like bleeding and stuff. You're like, yeah, it got bad.
But one more question before we go to break. Have you ever came in contact with the law in regards to this?
Not directly in regards to this, but when I was on probation for something else, it definitely got me in a lot of trouble.
So you were still using?
I was on still probation. Using, yeah.
But were they dropping?
I was an outpatient, so I was taking UAs every week, and I was failing on my UAs. Actually, I found a way around it. They had this stuff called Whiz Piss or something like that. You can buy that at just tobacco shops. And
Is it fake
works.
piss?
It's fake piss, yeah.
But don't they watch you when you go up in there?
No, not at where I was. Eventually, it's kind of funny. So back in July, I left for inpatient, and when I came back, I wanted to come clean and be honest with my outpatient counselor. So I told him what I was doing and how I was passing all the UAs and stuff. And ever since then, he like started watching everybody go to the bathroom and shit. So I was like, "Sorry guys, my bad."
Is it? But because I've done that too in ISR, where they have the mirror in the bathroom and you the door's open or whatever when you go take a. But a lot of times, like, people go do job interviews and they were using all that bullshit,
right.
And it was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
It was either not coming back right. They had to retake, or it was coming back as synthetic piss.
Yeah, for sure. I would just recommend finding somebody though if you're ever in that situation.
Yeah, because them tests have a temperature gauge. They're like if the temperature's not at a certain temperature, it will not give you a positive or negative. It'll give it'll give you that.
Yeah,
this ain't right.
Indeterminate. Yeah, deal. So that was your. You said you had was that. The probation, was that related to drug addiction?
It was some female problems, actually.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. It wasn't like not domestic violence or anything.
It was with trespassing charge.
Yeah.
You said earlier. You said earlier that you were with your girlfriend and she will probably be here with you in the interview. How's your relationship with your girlfriend?
Oh, she's my girl. So I started seeing her. And when I got clean in July, I stayed clean for maybe like 40 days or so. Mm-hmm. Other than this period of time, that was the longest I've had clean in 2.5, 3 years, actually. Mm-hmm. And we started dating then, and we got into a fight, and I relapsed, and we stopped seeing each other, and now she's clean too, and so am I.
How long have you been together?
We were together back then for like 2 months, and now we're working on it. We're working things out slowly because we both realize that we have things to work on separately and stuff.
So y'all don't even have a year in right now.
No, not even.
I know a lot of treatment programs frown on relationships.
Yeah, for within like a year.
Especially somebody in general.
They tell you.
They'd be like, hey, if you, especially somebody that's an addict also, but really, and especially with you, it seems like
because it triggers relapses.
No, well, it's his trigger.
Yeah,
not relapse. It's his trigger.
You're definitely right. Relationships. I'm very bad with relationships.
Yeah, it's
using them as an excuse.
Yeah.
Say for instance, I'm in a relationship and I'm addicted to alcohol, and I get into it with my girlfriend. The first thing I'm gonna run to is my alcohol.
Well, it's happy or sad. It's always a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
Happy, I'm gonna drink alcohol. Sad, I'm gonna drink alcohol.
That's exactly right. They tell you that too.
It's a trigger.
Yeah.
They tell you that too. Like it could be like you could use even like a graduation as a trigger.
Anything.
It doesn't have to be
But relationships are at the top.
It's his reasons why. Because now he doesn't have a governing factor or somebody around him, perhaps, to that he has to be accountable to.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? So now he can be like, okay, well, fuck it.
It's the excuse part too. It's like,
you don't love me anymore. I'm going to drink.
Oh, we're not together. Like I'm doing this for you. So this time around, when I went to inpatient,
do it for yourself.
I stayed longer because I had more to work for, and I tried to work through that and like aspect of things to where I can't use that as an excuse, and I have to do this for me instead of do this for anybody else. Like, yeah, I can like prove to other people that I'm doing things right, but at the core it has to be my decision.
Exactly.
Otherwise, and
I had this conversation earlier today with somebody on the phone. I was like, I was talking to Kelsey on the phone today. I was like, your alcohol consumption is what bothers me. And
no name drop.
And I said, well,
no, I'm just saying, that's the one person you probably don't want to name drop.
It's too late. It's real with that person.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I gotta name drop that person.
I'm gonna chop that name out. I don't want you.
That
I do not want you. I'm cutting it out because I do not want you coming after me.
But I expressed to her, like, the alcohol is what concerns me the most, the alcohol consumption. Because, like, She drinks alcohol like I drink water.
Right, but
I have an alcohol problem too.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
However, I don't drink it like I drink water.
yeah, but
And I
that's
kinda like keep
judgmental.
it under control.
That's being judgmental because one person might say you're an alcoholic. A person might say, well, 15 drinks. My deal is that you have to know yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to know that I can only have one drink.
But if you buy a bottle of alcohol and you can't stop until this bottle is done,
That's an alcoholic.
there's a problem.
That's an alcoholic.
There's
but
a
that's,
problem.
But that's not being judgmental. That's me looking at it saying, you know, if
Take this bottle right here. This is alcohol right here. It's water, but it's alcohol right here.
yeah.
And if I start drinking this bottle and I can't stop until this bottle is done,
Right.
it's a problem.
It is
But
a
if I can
problem.
take one drink out this
Right,
bottle
yeah,
and
that's-
set it down, and
Yeah,
leave it, it's not a
Yeah,
problem.
it's not. It's
not a problem.
Some people might say it is because you're drinking because they're just anti-drinking. But yeah, it's a realistic, like you're saying. Yeah, I know what my limit is. All I'm trying to say.
I know
you
my
know
limit.
what your
I'm
limit.
gonna take one drink out this bottle
put
and
it
I'm
up.
done.
Those are the questions they ask you because I got 3 DUIs,
Mhm.
and my DUIs. You know me.
Mhm.
I'm not an alcoholic, but
Mhm.
it just seems like they have a compartmentalized can program. They can only see alcoholics. So I'm saying every time I go to the club, my dumb ass get behind the wheel and drive.
But you know what?
That gives me a DUI.
I know you're not an alcoholic, but because we've been to the club recently here and you haven't drunk one drop of alcohol.
I don't drink.
Not one drop of
Yeah,
alcohol.
I don't drink. I haven't drank
You're not an
alcohol in,
alcoholic.
like 15 years.
How many times we went there and I drank? Every time. Every
The way
time.
I see it too, like alcohol for alcoholism, any addiction really is like even with like people that do opiates, it's like you can be labeled as an alcoholic even if you don't finish the whole bottle. But if it's
Right.
controlling your life and like
Right,
you
that's
know,
true too. That's
Exactly,
true. That's
exactly.
true too. That means
Exactly.
how much control does this bottle have over you?
Right.
Do you need it?
And
Do
that's
you
what
need
I
it?
expressed to her.
My-
It's controlling her life.
We
You
know
can't
that.
have sex without it.
We know.
You can't have sex without it.
We know.
You can't have you can't have a good time without it.
No, the decision making factor is hindered by her being inebriated. Right? She can't make decisions correctly, and she says things, but that's not that. I want to know. So, is your relationship with your father healed now?
Oh man, it's honestly is. We were talking about this the other day. Actually, it's probably the best it's ever been.
Why? Now, when he kicks you out, you go to treatment. How do you get back in the house?
So I got kicked out, and I was out for a few nights, and then my brother had to like pull his teeth to get him to. The original plan was. So I moved back in maybe a week before I ended up going to treatment. And then we didn't talk. We'd like walk past each other and like look opposite ways and shit, you know? And like only because of my brother was I living back with him because he didn't want me living at my mom's house because he was there and shit.
That's what I was gonna ask you too. Why weren't you at your mom's?
Well, I have a record too, and she does daycare, so I can't live there when she does daycare.
So that's
yeah, that makes a huge impact.
That's a huge difference.
What's your I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. But what's your record? Like, what did you do?
Well, he's got that domestic, right?
Yeah, I got like a domestic and like I got just like a bunch of like offenses for like driving without a license.
He can't have
like,
shit if she's
like,
running a daycare in her house.
Yeah, I can't have anything.
Yeah.
Not even like a minor consumption.
Yeah, he can't have nothing.
Yeah.
And there was,
I know that from when I was
kind of stuck up
old girl
and shit, and he doesn't like anybody
They
else.
took her daycare license because of that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I had to,
they took it.
When I was an adolescent, when I got my first charge, I had to like write like a letter to her daycare provider.
Was she always a daycare provider?
Yeah, she quit. She was a hairstylist before my brother and myself were born, and then she wanted to stay at home with us, so she started doing daycare. Yeah,
she seems to be good at it. She's been doing it for that long.
She's got like a couple daycare provider of the year awards and stuff.
Yeah, she's got to be.
Yeah, she's badass, dude.
Yeah, well, she's got to be. I mean, to be in that business this long.
Yeah.
All right.
Not have gray hair yet.
All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
I got something to say.
We're back. This is welcome to I Got Something to Say. We're back. I'm SAF Moe, your prison lawyer, with my man
Ron B in the middle.
Eric decided to stay with us, entertaining us with his stories about, really educating us. I shouldn't even say entertaining because it's all news to me because I've seen everything from the crack epidemic, never from the opioid epidemic. And I heard about it. I never knew about it and how it does. It seems to have the same family effect where it destroys and rips the family apart and makes people more, you're selfish.
Just like crack and alcoholism.
Yeah.
Like crack on alcohol, cigarettes.
Yeah.
For a person who's addicted to cigarettes. Addicted. Fucking cigarettes like what, $15 a pack now?
No.
Yeah, I smoke
not that high
I
yet.
smoke American cigarettes.
Not that high yet.
Like,
If they get that high,
I just spent $13 on my pack.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Shit, that's
I
a lot of
paid
money.
11, like 31 for
They
my
just
pack.
went up in I think December. Cigarette prices went up too. You know?
Yeah, but so I just off camera we were just talking a little bit, and I had a little bit of some questions about, you explained that how you and your dad got back together, and which was great that you guys were able to mend,
Rekindle that.
yeah, rekindle and mend.
Mm-hmm.
But you were going to take us back a couple of years and talk about when you were on, and then, like I said, also talk about that series of overdoses that happened. And I'm sorry, when I talked to you, when you told me about it, I was shocked that didn't make you stop.
Yeah, they don't. If anything, because most of the time when you do overdose, you get hit with Narcan, and Narcan makes you go into immediate withdrawals. So, because Narcan, what it does is it knocks, all the opiates off of your blockers. So, the withdrawals are, instead of just kind of creeping up slowly and slowly, it's just withdrawal, immediately withdrawing. And I think that's why, for me personally, that's why it never made me stop, because the first thing I wanted to do was just go back out and get high.
Are you having the same effects, the puking and shitting and all that, because of the withdrawal off Narcan?
Oh, not necessarily. It's more just you get a really bad headache and shit, and fucking stomach ache and bone aches and stuff. But yeah, it gives you a really bad headache.
Okay.
How are you doing today?
How am I doing today? I'm good. I take, for the first time in my life, I'm super stubborn when it comes to medicine and stuff, but I take anxiety medicine twice a day. And I've always frowned upon them. I've always been huge on Eastern medicine and stuff, and holistic health and whatnot. And for once, I'm actually following doctor's orders. I take Suboxone. That helps with the cravings and stuff. And
Suboxone is a big drug in prison right now.
it is.
It's a little square piece of paper
Yep.
that
It
people put
dissolves.
on their tongue. I've seen people just sleep all day.
Yeah. I like it. It gives me the energy I need to throughout my day, but then if I lay down, I can just immediately.
What is Suboxone?
It's a anti-opioid. So it's buprenorphine mixed with naloxone, and naloxone is Narcan.
It's a dumbed down drug of the same thing.
You just said it's got Narcan in it.
It does have Narcan in it. So the thing about taking Suboxone, and this is why I've been to 5, like I was telling you off camera, I've been to 5 treatments in the past year, and 3 of the 5 treatments I've been to, I've only lasted maybe 1 or 2 days, because in order to start taking Suboxone, you have to wait up to 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
Because if you take it too soon and you still have opiates in your system, it treats you as if you were taking Narcan.
Yeah.
So
Get that headache.
yeah, you go into what they call precipitated withdrawals.
It's a drug that gets people prison rich. What I mean by that is, like, I've seen people have other people bring this drug in to prison.
I believe it.
30 little squares, 40 little squares, 50 little squares, and they sell them for anywhere from $50 to $100 a square
Right.
in prison.
Yeah.
Imagine how much money that is.
Yeah, I mean, like anything in
You
prison.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, anything in prison is gonna get you paid.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, my whole deal is this the back to the whole. You told me about a couple of different overdoses that you dealt with, and to me, I mean, I'm ignorant. I would just think to see someone overdose would make
you want to stop.
me stop.
Yeah.
Not only feel for that individual who've overdosed, but I know people who've had several overdoses are still doing it.
Yeah, I was in treatment back in July, and like one of my buddies that I met there, he was telling me that prior to going into treatment, he was the past 70 days that he shot up dope and stuff, he overdosed every single time that he shot up. I was like, Jesus Christ.
When he says, "Oh, now explain overdose to me," because it's overdose dying.
They can be bad, like dying or like seizing and like
Not
breathing, having a hard time breathing, going to respiratory. What's it called? Whatever it's called.
Arrest.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. And or they can just be minor, as much as falling asleep or something. You never know. Like I'm sure I've had a couple of bad ones, but like I've passed out with like a needle in my arm.
Well, I want to talk about that because to me, it's so when you said that, you scared the hell out of me because you're dealing with a downer depressant.
Yeah.
The downer depressant's gonna send you to sleep.
Mm-hmm. So
you might not
never
wake up.
know. Yeah.
You might not wake
the
up.
Fucking scary part about it is.
So you're getting high. I'm assuming to feel good, or is it you getting high to fall asleep?
I think at first. So I never used to actually use needles, so I would never like. My experience, It wasn't until I started using needles that I started overdosing, and I would just feel good, like especially with like fentanyl. Like I would feel like I could clean
smoking.
my whole apartment out.
You just
I
smoke.
snort.
Oh, you snort.
Yeah,
Because
snort,
I'm just trying. Because I know people smoke
You can
too.
smoke it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to smoke black tar heroin. Well, not used to, just recently too.
Oh, damn. That's
Yeah.
that's yeah. I heard that's some real crucial shit.
It is. But the withdrawals were never as bad as fentanyl. Fentanyl withdrawals suck.
Are you doing straight fentanyl, or are
Yeah,
you doing fentanyl with heroin in it?
I was doing straight fentanyl. So I was at first, bring it back to 2.5 years ago. After those Dilaudid ran out, I found somebody with those perk 30s, those fake ones.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's how it all got started. Immediately hooked, but I was paying like $20 a pop.
Yeah,
for
they're
those,
expensive.
and I like realized that I could just go out and just get straight fentanyl and not just.
And you don't even know what's in those pills.
Yeah,
Could be
right.
some of anything.
Crazy, like I went in there like
Fentanyl
I took a UA
dangerous,
one
though.
time.
No, but it could be fentanyl mixed with cocaine.
I was just
You
gonna
don't
say-
know what's pressed in that pill.
I took them one time and like I went in for a UA and treatment and I had like meth in my system.
That's what I'm saying. It could
I
be.
was like, what?
Yeah, it's pressed with anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably got a little fentanyl in it, but he can be.
Just like
Fentanyl's a
Xanax
dangerous
bars
drug.
nowadays too. I overdosed one time.
On Xanax bars?
I took a couple of those perk 30s.
Oh, the
And like,
freaks.
and you know, another thing about them is some of them are a lot more potent than other ones. So I took a couple of those, and then I took like half a Xanax bar.
Oh, fuck.
And the Xanax also had fentanyl in it. And I
Yeah,
overdosed. I overdosed from that.
Was it a what type of overdose was it?
That one was kind of bad. Luckily, I was with a buddy of mine, but and he was able to give me some Narcan. But
Did he?
I was like, my eyes started rolling into the back of my head, and like I started like turning like pale and stuff.
Now during that time, I'm gonna say you're dying.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah.
You're dying. So
It's kind of like equivalent to having a heart attack or something, you know?
what's going through your head?
Not much. I don't think I think about that. It's hard to think about that. Like, it's not something you're thinking about because you're just so high that you're basically in a blackout.
Hold on.
I had a question for you. When's the last time you used?
December 2nd, 2021.
Okay.
When you in that, so this is what you're scaring me about. It's like, okay, my whole deal has always been control over my life, over everything. So I pop this pill, or I hit this whatever the fuck, and then I start to get high. Right? I'm getting high now. I want to try to control this high. I don't want to lose control of this high. It's cool when if it's just a cool, I'm feeling good high. When it get to a point where I'm high, I'm losing consciousness of my body. I don't know if I'm in or out of my body. I don't know what's going on. Then you say sleep. How the fuck can you go to sleep or feel like you're gonna go to sleep when you don't know if you're gonna wake up?
You're not really sleeping. You're just passed out.
Are your eyes open?
No. Your eyes literally like roll into the back of your head and your eyes shut.
So it's more like exhaustion than sleeping?
I got a funny story to tell, actually.
Fuck.
So, like, right when I was starting to try to get clean, I had a sponsor, and he had me going to 3 AA meetings a week, and they're all on Zoom and stuff. So it was easy to get high still when I was going to them. And I was sitting outside of my apartment, and we have like a little cul-de-sac like thing with like benches and stuff and a table in it. And I was sitting on my computer out there on the AA meeting on Zoom, and the face was up because you know you can like you have the option to
you can
take it off.
Zoom. Yeah.
And I was high on fentanyl, and I was like nodding off and like stuff, and all of a sudden some homeless guy comes up behind me and he like taps me on the shoulder like in the middle of an AA meeting, and he's like, "Are you good, bro?" Like it's like voices on and everything, and he's like, "Are you good, man?" Like, my sponsor was like, "What happened? Like, are you falling asleep?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just really tired. Long day at work." I was like, "I can't." He knew exactly what was going on.
It was a guy. I go to this meeting like every Saturday and shit, and I knew him in prison and shit. I was happy to see him get out. And he's in 180. 180 is a halfway house that you have when you get out. So he's in 180. So we'll go to this fucking meeting every Saturday, and he'd be fucking asleep in class. I mean, and I thought because he was working at night, because he'd be fucking snoring, dude. He'd be fucking just be there for a second.
Was he on like methadone or anything, or was he like
he was on I think if he was on fentanyl.
Oh, was he actually like he was using
while he got out, because he gets popped, goes back and then when you're out of prison, if you do have housing or you're a Hennepin County commit, you can they'll if you say, hey, I got a problem, like you said, they'll CD you. And they'll put him in a treatment, give you a bed in a treatment program. So when I talked to the lady the next day, she's like, yeah, he went to inpatient treatment. You know, he just was like, fuck it. But I didn't know. I'm thinking the whole time he's working late. That's how naive I am to what's going on. Because he had a night shift job supposedly, and he'd be just sitting there, and then the lady would wake him up, and then 2 seconds later he'd be asleep again. I'm like, damn, he must be working a long night shift.
Drops out.
He
drops out.
And that's funny too. Like you said, like that's how naive you were, but it's like crazy because like me being an opiate addict, like I could like spot another opiate addict a mile away. But if you don't know anything about that,
right?
Like I would just think he's like, just working, I'm like, dude, like super tired.
And I was like, ask him, because he was my partner. I mean, I knew him, and he ends up going to Oak Park before I went to Oak Park, and we never saw each other after that. But when I asked him, he's like, no, I stayed up late night and watched the movie. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Right. The whole time he's lying. I mean, whatever. It's not there. But my like I said, the thing that I'm having a problem with, or the thing that scares me the most, is just taking something and not knowing if this is the last time
Yeah,
I'm gonna see.
that's crazy because that's how powerful the addiction is itself. Because that's
The high must be high as fuck.
that's never once crossed my mind when I'm doing the drugs that it's gonna be my last time. And the
Although
sad
you had
thing-
all those OD, all those.
yeah, and it's like that's never once crossed my mind that that's gonna be the case. It's like,
And I didn't see that when we were working together at Billy's. I'm like,
and that's
I didn't see
that's
it.
another
Like,
thing
you hit
too.
it.
Yeah, other than like I would disappear like every half an hour and go out to the bathroom upstairs and snort some dope or something.
So you were
know?
functional? Were you doing it
I
at
was,
Billy's? You were
yeah, I
functional?
was. And that's another thing. Like I think that you have a lot more of a chance of ODing if you're
Yeah, you were telling
you
me. Tell me
know,
that
if you're-
story you told me.
if you're not like being active and stuff.
Like
Because,
all you guys doing it and then you guys leaving.
yeah, because when you're like, because your heart's still, your heart rate is still up there when you're like running around like at Billy's bar backing and stuff.
Yep.
24 all the time and stuff. But like when you're like not, yeah, I was at a party and I was with 5 other people and we were all doing fentanyl.
Now
And
you smoking,
we were
injecting.
We were injecting and snorting, and once we all parted ways, we were fine because we were around a lot of people and talking and stuff. But at the end of the night, we all parted ways, and all 6 of us, it was some really powerful stuff apparently because we all overdosed, and 2 of the people I was with actually ended up dying from the overdoses too. So that was quite an eye-opening, rude awakening.
No, let's stop for a second, please, because we talked a little bit about the user of fentanyl or opioids or whatever receiving treatment, but they have another deal for the person who provides it. It's called prison, and if somebody dies, it's called a murder conviction.
Yeah.
So how do you
true.
feel about that? How do you feel
I
about
think it's
that?
fucked up because it's like, they deserve a second chance to send them to treatment. Just like, I mean, because you can, it's not like the person providing it is like, they can't control how much the person they're providing it to is using. Like, just like they expect, like when you like go to a bar and get drink, like they expect you to responsibly drink and not black out and cause a fucking
Accident.
yeah.
They're not trying to
exactly.
go to the bartender and be
Right.
like, hey, you serve too much alcohol. You know, you so much. This person has a tolerance of XYZ.
Yeah.
So-
And that's the same with like a provider of opiates to an opiate user. Like you
I seen the
never.
girl next door. Oh boy.
I don't think at least
They
I
cut
don't
her
think
off.
they should. I at least don't think they should be charged with like manslaughter and stuff with it.
They're
you
being
know?
charged with third-degree
Yes,
murder.
I know. That's,
Yeah,
no, I don't agree with that.
yeah. So I knew. See, when I was locked up, I was hearing about heroin when I was in the joint and how it was because when I was out, crack was the biggest thing. People stayed away from it. It was too much time. It was too hard to get, and people didn't want to deal with it. Crack was easier to sell. You could, So when I was getting ready to get out, everybody was talking about it, this and that, and I actually met a guy who was on a charge because what this would happen in his situation, he was seen leaving the building. He went to the guy's house, left the building. He was on camera, and the guy died.
Oh wow.
Later on, and they gave him 3rd degree. So that was my first awakening to it. So, I mean, with that being said, so you said 2 of your friends passed away that night.
Acquaintances.
Acquaintance.
I was there with my drug dealer, and I didn't really know the people, but I mean, like over the period of the time I was there, I got to know them a little bit. But yeah, they ended up dying.
What ended up happening to him?
Him?
Yeah.
He's still out and roaming the streets. Actually, I think right now, he's actually trying to get help.
He's addicted to it also.
Yep. I gave him a.
So he's
Yeah, he's doing both.
Yo, he's less of a. I mean, yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying.
I know. Yeah, he's trying to get out of it right now. I gave him like the name of the treatment. I gave him the name of the detox I went to because the detox I went to was this past time. hands down the best decision I ever made.
Where was that? Shout
It was
them
in
out.
it was in Inver Grove Heights Gateway Recovery Center. Best place you can go. It's not like a Ramsey County or like a county detox where it's like being in jail. This place was like being in a hotel. Flat screen TVs mounted to the walls.
Mhm.
All the food laying out that you can eat, candy like toast, cereal,
Just like
muffins,
Hazelwood.
cookies, and stuff.
It's
Yeah,
like Hazelwood.
beds were super comfortable, and it was like a gateway to going. You're like to inpatient because they weren't mandatory, but they had 3 meetings per day there. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 at night. They set you up with a counselor that you talk to every day. They keep you as long as you can stay on like a county detox. For opiate addicts, they kick you out after 72 hours. This
What?
place, yeah, it's fucked up.
Mm.
This place keeps you until they find another place because if you go door to door, meaning like from detox to an inpatient treatment, less likely for you to relapse. So they'll keep you there up to like 7 days if need be, which is how long I was there. And they have like an aftercare provider that they set you up with that like look into like what treatment. They'll ask you what you want out of treatment, and then they find a treatment that works best for
Like
you.
a sponsor.
Yeah, kind of.
How did you find
Like
this
a mentor.
place?
I used to go to United Family Medicine down on West 7th Street, and that's where I go for my Suboxone maintenance. And I reached out to my doctor, my primary care doctor, and they work with them, so
Oh, okay.
they pointed me in that direction. So yeah, I was there, and then I ended up going to a smaller outpatient, 6 people, 6 beds. Usually they're like 50 to 75
Yeah, that's right.
beds.
They're after the money. They usually after the money. They're
Yep.
flipping people and taking state money.
Mhm.
So we talked a little before I first met you about the cocaine, crack, and the opioid addiction, and how I felt as it was racially based, where they criminalized one, and they use
Everyone for like
they use
treatment.
they're using a different treatment based, at least for the users for this one, and you can say, and I can say that the complexion of the individuals look different on the different cases. So I was saying that with that being said, you said that you don't feel that way. You feel like it's actually you go ahead and tell them how you feel about why you feel as though it's not a race-based deal. It's more so based on the coming off the heroin opposed to coming off crack. Just the withdrawal.
As far as the withdrawals go,
Yeah.
I think that people like, you mean like, wow, like it's harder for people and stuff.
So if I told you right now, I feel like crack cocaine is being handled different than opioids, and I think it's specifically based on race.
I think people can just. I think it's just like easier for people to get off of crack and stuff because they don't experience like withdrawals as bad, but at the same time, like you just don't hear about it as much. Like the epidemic with crack and stuff because people aren't actually overdosing and dying left and right with it and whatnot. I don't know. That's my intake on it. And like that when I was in detox, I think there was like 2 other people that were there for crack cocaine too, and like they were experiencing things like just as bad. And I think that it's your upbringing too, like where you come from and like how much money you have, because some things are a lot more expensive than other things.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're thinking, or you want to be a counselor.
Not a counselor, but I want to become an advocate for it. Like it's like I've been through in the past 2.5 years. I've probably in total, other than this go around, I've probably been sober 45, probably 70 days because the withdrawals get too bad and I've tried to kick it alone and I couldn't.
Okay.
And up until this point, like this is my first time being in treatment also on my own will. Every other time it was to please the courts and stuff.
Right.
And you can't do it if you're just doing, I mean, you can, but you never hear of people actually like when they're just pleasing the courts. You
Yeah,
got
being
you gotta
successful.
want it.
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
gotta-
really
this time-
want it.
This time you want it.
Yes, like it was like I burnt
We had this
my
conversation
last
earlier.
bridges, and I know they say everybody's rock bottom is different, but I would definitely say I hit rock bottom. I ruined so many relationships, no money, basically living on the streets. I mean, like my dad had it up to here with me and stuff, and he gave me until the end of December to be out of the apartment. And the cool thing is now like I don't have to be out. He let me sign the lease for another year because I got clean again.
Okay.
So it's
Amen.
I know it's an everyday thing that I need to work
Yeah, it's
through.
day by day.
It's day by day. It's
Yeah.
minute by minute, second
Yeah,
by second.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but I feel like I have to give back because I've been given so many chances by so many different people, and I'm so grateful that all the people who really matter still are here for me and stuff at the end of the day. And I did take the action. It's something that you have to take action in. You can't just expect it to be handed to you. You gotta do the work. You gotta follow through, and actions, all
Why-
the way up.
Why do you don't think you'll make a good counselor? I think
I
somebody,
could, yeah.
I think that somebody talking to me who's been through it would make me more.
Exactly. And that's funny that you bring that up too, because I've been to treatment centers where I've had counselors who did not experience it.
No, they
firsthand.
only went to school.
They've gone to school for it. And I
Yeah.
mean, you don't get into that career like by choice, like somebody in your family or something.
Right.
Not, but I want somebody that I can relate to on like a
Right,
personal
knows about
basis.
the cravings,
Yes.
knows about the failing,
Yep.
knows about the relationships.
Just like T.K. Kirkland said today. I was watching T.K. Kirkland. He's a comedian. And he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about he's 61 years old. He looks like he's about 40 years old. But he said he dates women that are older than him. And Charlamagne the God asked him, he said, why you date women older than you? He said, because I want somebody that knows the signs of a stroke. If my arm is twitching a certain way, and she's going to know what to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like drug treatment, the same thing. You want somebody that's been through it,
Yeah, you can
that
relate
knows
Well,
that you can relate to.
I
like
just
you
think
said.
it makes common sense.
Yeah,
I would
makes
want to
sense.
talk to him before I want to talk to some fucking knucklehead.
Yeah, for sure.
Who only thing he knows is what the book says.
Yep, I hate it too because you do run into those people. Like I always ask my counselors when I go to places, like, "You walk the walk?" Like, yeah. It's like, what was your deal and shit, And a lot of times, you can like change counselors and stuff because a lot of places have multiple ones, and I've had to do that because. And some of them, I like it when they're open too, because some of the times you'll go in and they will like have like walk the walk and been down that path, but they're not open to talk about it. They're not willing to be vulnerable.
Right.
But they expect
that's
you
the term.
Yeah, but they
That's the term.
expect you to be vulnerable
Exactly.
with them. And it's
Yeah,
like,
Exactly. That's a good term.
And I've been in treatment before, and like I was more receptive to the people that been through it, that were recovering addicts like myself,
right.
than I wasn't receptive to the people that read it in a book.
I was never receptive to anybody because I've always had a chip on my shoulder and was like, I'm not an addict. And that's how I felt. I mean, I never felt like drinking was my, you could hit me with something else, but not alcohol. I know I went out and I drank. I never came home and missed work because I was drinking. I would go out to the clubs and drink and get in the car and drive. That was my problem. That was my problem. I didn't have Uber. They didn't have Lyft. Back in the days, they have none of that stuff that they have now. That I'll be stupid if I didn't use. I had friends that were supposed to give me a ride home, or I thought that I could drive. I thought I wasn't that drunk.
You thought you could trust them and they drank too?
I thought, and I thought I wasn't that drunk. I didn't understand truly how alcohol worked. Like you're trying to get that last drink.
Yeah,
the club's got to take some responsibility for that too. Yeah, you're trying to hit that last or drink for the last of the world. Yeah, that's the bill that's gonna get you popped to get you.
Last call.
Yeah, last call. You're running for last call. You're gonna hit that last Hennessy. You're gonna get on the car, and by the time that police officer pulls you over,
it's hitting you.
It's already you're you know, whatever you probably was at a point, whatever. If you're at one point, whatever, at that particular time, because that alcohol is in your system. So I didn't, you know, there was a lot of things going through that made me do what I did. I didn't feel like I was an alcoholic, but what did make me sit in those classes was people that looked like me, who were walking the same walk that I walk, who understood. That's why I would sit down and listen to you. Even though I didn't feel like I should be there, I would listen.
Right.
What do you want to,
It's like the first step to, you know, like admitting to God that you're powerless over it.
Over
You
alcohol.
couldn't, like,
yeah, but that's the alcohol. That's that Alcohol Anonymous.
you know, say, like, you gotta truly believe that, you know, like, you can't have a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I had a I always felt as though, like, but I believe, like you believe too, it's got to be me wanting to do it.
And that's the conversation I had this morning with.
It's got to be me.
Otherwise you're just talking and you're trying to, like, please others.
Exactly, and when that relationship breaks, you know what you're gonna be doing?
You're gonna
right back to where you
back
get.
at it.
I'm gonna show them.
If you're
Fuck you.
Yeah, if you're yeah, like I used that. I got off probation. And that was an excuse in itself. I got off probation in September, and it's like, fuck yeah, like I'm gonna rage tonight. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
So just the relationships that you've been in with the females you've been in, and has that all come via this addiction? Which
yeah, I'd say so.
yeah, and is that
part?
So you're attracted to
No, I was gonna
like people.
No. I was gonna say, like, is that gonna be an issue?
Oh no, not in the future. I've always been very, again, using the word vulnerable in relationships and never keep a guard up. But like with this one right now, you know, we're not, like, technically in a relationship. We're working things out, but at the same time, we keep it to a minimum of, like, how much we, like, see each other and stuff, because she herself is trying to get sober too, and this all happened, like, out of the blue. Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even talk to her, and then I hit her up when I got out of treatment, and I was like, hey, blah blah blah, I've been sober for so and so many days now, and she was like, wow, yeah, I'm working on being sober too. I'm back in the gym and stuff. So we kind of came to an agreement that we'll slowly ease back into things, but we're gonna, like, focus on ourselves first. And
But
stuff.
Did you know her before you got in a relationship with her?
Yep.
So how long have you guys known each other?
I think you said.
So let's see. Last, we started bartending together at Barrio down in Lower Town, and that's how I met her. And we started bartending last March when they reopened, and that's when I met her. And then I ended up going to treatment in June, and when I got out of treatment, that's when we started dating each other. So, yeah, but we were always kind of, like, touchy and, like very, like, sentimental with her. It was never just.
You always flirted with each other.
Yeah, it was never just, like, a friendly relationship.
But was that before you knew she was?
She was alcohol. She wasn't opiates. I knew for sure. Yeah, like, she drank like a fucking.
Is that what she's going through treatment for?
She's not in treatment right now, but she's just sober, you know.
Yeah, for the alcohol.
Yeah, for the alcohol. Yeah.
Is she okay? Well, it's just, to me, it's a lot. She's got a lot. To me, this is me being ignorant again. She's got a lot simpler world to go down.
Right, with
alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol is the worst one out there.
No, it's just more available.
It's more available, but it's the worst one.
But it's to me, you know what I haven't drank in a while, but you know, you guys somebody had some Hennessy or something around me, and that smell made me want to have a drink.
It made you want to have a drink.
It made me want to have a drink, but it did not make me want to have a drink. Right? It
did both for you.
It made me want. It made you want
it, but then it made you say, "No, I ain't going down that road."
No, it was just like I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
It was I didn't want to drink. It was just like, I smell you cooking something in the kitchen, And it was like, I know I don't eat pork, but those pork chops smell good.
I was
It's
just gonna
like-
say that. I was
Those pork
just
chops
gonna say
smell
that.
real good.
It's easier to turn it down and like shit, you know, than like with like
Yeah.
opiates. It's like
It's
if
hard-
there's-
it's
I was just
difficult.
gonna say that because I know you don't eat
you
pork.
start getting like that like itch to like fucking. Like,
Well,
shit,
you're saying
like-
you're biting your thumbs
Yeah,
and,
right,
you know,
exactly.
just
Mhm.
fucking withdrawal. And then some of it, how much do you think it's more psychological than it is physical? Like it's
Oh,
actually in
shit.
your mind.
Oh man, I think the mind is a very powerful thing.
It's
You can
super
control
powerful.
a lot. You can heal a lot by just like being very mindful of things. But with opiate addiction, it's like it's all physical, like nothing, like your
You
bones
could lose
ache,
everything.
your bones ache,
Yeah,
like,
he's-
your like back aches, you're like
Throwing
you get fatigued, you throw up and
Headaches.
stuff.
It's just your whole body's working against you because
Yes.
it wants it.
And you
That's
know
crazy.
you know how like opiates they like numb pain. So like when you're coming off them, you're feeling all that pain that's been numb for so long. You know?
Is it numbing pain in a sense of anguish, mental pain, or is it numbing pain? You're not.
physical pain?
You're
It's
not in
fucking-
pain.
I'm not in pain. No, I mean like
You're not hurt. You're not. You didn't say about an accident you were in. Or,
yeah.
Or
I think you use it to like you use it because it's both. It's
okay.
both, yeah.
Yeah, because it's got to be some.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just saying, like, because I know what you said. The guy who you got the initial Dilaudid from, he
Had surgery.
so he was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
You took it because you were going through
Mental.
yeah,
I
mental,
took it.
and numb that pain that you were
Yeah.
having.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
When I took it, yeah. I mean, like, and I think at first, because we were talking off camera too, about like how treatments are focusing on
Oh yeah,
some more mental health.
yeah,
You know, they're like incorporating that into things too now, and I think that a lot of times you start using the drugs because of something mental that's going on,
Exactly.
but then after a while they become a physical thing.
right.
Where you
Yeah,
just need them to like maintain and stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just super duper crazy. I mean, I'm glad you shed some light on the situation. Well, I don't understand why you won't think about becoming a counselor, even if it's voluntary.
For sure, yeah,
just
no,
to be,
exactly. Like that's why I don't say like counselor because like I mean not like making excuses, but you know that's like 4 years of school and stuff. But like I don't feel like I need to get paid to do it. That's why I say advocate. For
Right, you
people.
advocating
Amen.
now. You're telling people
Exactly.
right now,
You're
listen,
right.
your shit might be fucked up right now. Your ass might think that you might have stole your mom's whatever the fuck, took your dad's mom money, got kicked the fuck out, girlfriend done left you. You know what I'm saying? You're homeless. But shit, this guy's bouncing back.
And just notice too, like you was calling me and telling me you needed me to take you to drug treatment and stuff like that. You needed a ride and stuff like that. You could always call me.
Yeah,
you could always
thank
call
you.
him
For sure.
We're here.
Right.
We're here for you.
And
I
like,
mean, yeah, nah, I know. Shoot.
like Ron was just saying, I called him. That's the first step. You gotta
Ask for help.
ask for the help because so many people are afraid, like thinking that they're gonna get judged or something.
Yeah.
So they don't take that initial step to ask for the help
Mhm.
because that's the hardest part too.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part.
No
I can't help
judge
you if you
zone.
don't want to help
Checking
yourself.
Yeah,
No
checking
judge zone.
You
yourself
gotta keep
in.
yourself in the check.
No judge-
There you go right there.
No,
Oh, I ain't got it on this.
sir,
You
no
got it on
drugs,
yours.
no
Yeah.
drugs zone. The thing about it is like you said. First of all, you got to ask for it, but you have to be around a support system that's not going to look at you like this fucking guy again.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't look at you like that.
Yeah.
I don't look
No,
at you.
I know.
Every time you call me, I'm there. I'm
Right,
I'm
because-
answering the phone. I'm answering the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
trying to duck your call or nothing like that. And I don't want you to feel like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that 100%. And it's like, yeah, are they really your friends that they're gonna judge you? Like,
No.
it's like people got to understand that kudos if they can make it work the first time, but it takes time. It takes
Yeah.
time. You gotta keep. And AA, I hate spitting the big book and stuff. I go to meetings just because it's a way to meet people and whatnot. But they say keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back.
It works. It works. It works.
It works if you work it. Yeah.
The thing about you made me think about something. When I was in the Navy, I was just in the Navy, and I had got on a train. I was going back home, and this guy was selling a tie. I still had the tie for the longest. When I was selling cars, I actually had the tie from this guy. You don't know me, but it's probably was a span of, say, 15 years that I had the tie. But I was on the train with this guy one time, and I was coming home, was going home, and he wanted to sell me this tie. So tie, I was in the Navy. I didn't have no need for a tie, but I bought it from him. And he was like, he told me I'm getting off drugs and I'm trying to
make
money. And he said, you know the funniest thing about drugs? He's like, the people I used to hang around with only wanted to be around me when I was doing drugs. Now I don't want to do drugs. They don't want to be around me anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he told me that, and it stuck with me all these years when he
Exactly.
said it. Because I had the tie, but I remember buying the tie from this guy, and it just stuck with me. And he was telling the truth. Because when I drank alcohol, those friends changed when I stopped drinking alcohol.
You want to like it, because you start realizing like you want to surround yourself with those more positive crowd and stuff too. Like if you're gonna hang around people doing drugs, you're just gonna be brought down by those people doing drugs. And the same with them, like haters hate, you know.
Right.
Joe Osteen said the best.
Right.
Joe Osteen said the best. He said you can't expect to soar with eagles and hang around with chickens.
Yeah. Really, exactly.
It just seemed like
you can't
I can't be sober and you're drunk.
Yeah.
I can't be. It's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not having fun.
Or even like for them, like I said, like they don't want it. It's like they see you doing better, and
It's true.
It kind of offends
That's
them,
true.
you know?
That's
like,
true. Oh, you're a goody two shoe now. You can't do this with me.
Oh, you think you're better than me?
Oh yeah. You were just doing it yesterday.
I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just maybe
smarter.
Yeah,
I don't
smart.
think I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. I know I'm better than
Who
you.
you want to make a shout out to, man? Who you want to shout out to, man? Who you want to shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Paul's Place, mom and dad. Paul's Place, Lynn, great counselor. You helped me through so much in my stay there. Everybody that's stuck by me through all this stuff over these past few years. It's been quite the journey, but finally starting to give back. It's only been 60 days, and I have a lot of growth to still do, but I already feel like I'm on the right path, and it's
Don't
amazing.
minimize it neither and say it's only been 60 days.
I got something to say. Listen, you can't run back from it because that's just gonna be playing for the rest of his life on YouTube, and he's gonna have to listen. Remember when you said this?
Yeah.
I want to say too, don't ever let anybody ever tell you that what you're doing is too different, small, or strange, because there's plenty of people in this world, and there's always going to be enough people who love what you're doing.
Amen.
Oh, damn. We gonna have to cut it. We can stop all the cameras on that shit. We can't go back off of that. They can't say shit on that. They killed it. I thought we were gonna be saying goodbye, y'all. That was beautiful, man.
That was beautiful. I love it.
I got something to say.
We all know these events happen very rapidly, and as there's a gun emerging in your direction, you're forced to make a split-second decision about when it's a threat.
Chief Huffman, hold on. Chief Huffman, no, do not. Okay, I'm not a threat. I don't have a gun. Okay, don't treat me like I'm a threat. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. When I agreed to work with you on the work group, we talked about the importance of transparency and accountability. And here, what we are seeing is business as usual. And you know this, Amelia. You know this, Jacob. I don't know how you guys slept that night. I couldn't sleep at night. Tears from a mother's perspective, thinking about what happened. I saw the picture of Amir. He looks like a boy. My son is 17 years old. He has slept on his friends' couches for sleepovers. So we cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay. We cannot sit here and whitewash this and pretend that it's okay.
one more time.
I got something to say.